Hey everybody, it's Dean Guccione for Tomorrow's Firefighter, and welcome to this week's video where I'm going to be discussing the impact on your family as you prepare and become a paid professional firefighter. And there's two areas that I'm going to discuss. One is a sacrifice that your family's going to have to make while you're preparing to become a firefighter, and the next sacrifice your family's going to have to understand and make is after you get hired and what all that entails. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the sacrifice that not only you make when you're preparing to become a firefighter, but the sacrifice that your family has to make. And whether, let's say if you're single, you don't have a spouse, you don't have a family to worry about, but your parents and your siblings may be concerned that they're not going to see you as much for a little while, and that's okay, and that's a conversation that you'll need to have with your family. Now, if you have a spouse, or you have kids, or you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, you need to sit them down and gain their support and help them understand the sacrifice that you're making to go to school and to prepare for the future, and that's you becoming a full-time firefighter and that reward of becoming a firefighter and everything that entails. And you know, with anything good in life, there's always a sacrifice to get there. So it's really important that you have that conversation with your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or your family, and let them understand and help them understand the sacrifice that you're making so you can reap a huge benefit at the end. Especially if you're going to paramedic school. Let's say that's a 6-month commitment out of your life that either your spouse or your kids or your family will not get to see you that much. Same thing if you're going through a full-time fire academy. Many fire academies are 4 months, and that is 7 days a week, just like paramedic school. And I say it's 7 weeks because even though you're going Monday through Friday, you're studying all day Saturday and you're preparing all day Sunday for the following week. You have block exams the next week. Maybe you're preparing notes for that from the previous week that you're going to have to build a notebook like in a fire academy. But you're going to have block exams, and you're going to have drugs and everything you have to learn in paramedic school, and you're going to have a whole bunch of different disciplines that you're learning and that you need to be up on because you're going through this material so fast, so quickly that you're not going to be able to go out on Friday night and party. You'll need some downtime, but you're not going to be partying during that time. You're going to be studying, and you're going to be having your nose to the grindstone, and it's all for the reward at the end. And you know this as you're preparing to become a firefighter, preparing to become a paramedic firefighter. And it's just important to have that support from your family, knowing that, hey, when you need to study for 6 hours on a Sunday to leave you alone, and then that night you'll have a nice dinner or you'll go out to dinner, and that will be your family time where you can kind of chill. But during the day, on the weekends, you're going to be studying, and it's a really big sacrifice for a little while. Not to mention, if you're testing and you're taking test after test after test with departments, your family needs to understand as well that you're going to need to study for the written exam. You know, there's reading comprehension, there's math, and there's personal relations part of the test, and there's mechanical part of the test. You're going to have to be studying all those things way prior to the application process. So if you're just studying those things right after you apply, then you're going to be way behind the curve, and you're going to have a difficult time getting a good score. Same with your oral interview. You're going to need to prepare months in advance for your oral interview, and that's going to take a sacrifice on your part and on your family's part to allow you the time to prepare and the time to study. So when you gain that support, then wow, the sky's the limit. Anytime you have support doing anything in your life that you want to do or trying to achieve a goal, and you have that support and you have people that are cheering you on and they're giving you that time to do the preparation that's required, then the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, and you're going to become a full-time professional firefighter way before you ever thought possible. So now let's talk about the after you get hired, the sacrifice that unfortunately your family is going to have to make once you become a full-time firefighter, because we work 24-hour schedules, we work 48-hour schedules, and some departments work 72-hour schedules. So what that means is you're going to miss birthdays, you're going to miss holidays, you're going to miss anniversaries, and you're also going to miss things that happen at home. Maybe you're at work and there's an earthquake, maybe something more minor like the washing machine breaks or a pipe bursts or something like that. Your family or your spouse are going to have to be self-sufficient, and they're going to have to know how to deal with that kind of stuff when you're home, because when you're at work, you can't just drop what you're doing and leave. That doesn't happen, especially on minor things. Now, it's different if you have a family member or your mom or your dad or your spouse gets sick and they go to the hospital or whatever. That's different. Then we can hire back for you. But just to drop, everything you're doing and say, hey, I got to go home because the washing machine broke. No, that can't happen. That doesn't happen. So that's important to have that conversation as well with your family and your spouse, maybe your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or your parents and all that. That while this is such a great job, unfortunately, the schedule prevents us from being home on certain occasions. And that's just the life of a firefighter. We work 24-hour shifts because that's the most efficient way that the city can pay for fire service without breaking the bank, as it were. If we had day shifts and night shifts, they'd have to have 4 shifts to cover 7 days, and that's just fiscally not efficient for the city. It's much more efficient for them to have 3 shifts, and we work 24-hour shifts, so they get the most out of us, with the money that they're paying us. So. And that's okay. And because of that lifestyle that we have as a firefighter, we work 24 hours, we work 48 hours, but we've got quite a bit of time off. And during that time off, you're going to be recharging your batteries. Maybe the first day home on your 4-day, you might be sleeping for 4 or 5 hours because you were up 3 or 4 times after midnight and you got no sleep. So it's these things that I want you to talk about with your family, that they're going to have to make that sacrifice and become self-sufficient so they can deal with these problems. Now, that doesn't mean to say that your spouse, your family can't text you or give you a quick call on duty and say, hey, this happened, that happened, and you can give them some guidance on how to deal with it. But ultimately, they're going to have to deal with it, and then you'll be able to take care of it more when you get home off of your next shift, either after 24 or you're going off on 4 days off. And so that's kind of the big picture thing that I really want you to discuss with your family and gain that support. And once they understand that, then you're going to be able to not have resentment and hard feelings. And if that all happens up front, when you're preparing and then when you become a firefighter, your family life is going to be a whole bunch better. And you're going to have to sacrifice. Actually, the sacrifice won't be as much. Your spouse, your family will get used to you being off or at work for 24 hours or 48 hours or 72 hours. And then when you come home, then you can resume your normal family life. But it's a different lifestyle, and I just want you to understand the overall sacrifices that not only you have to make, but your family has to make as well. And the sooner you have that conversation with them, and the sooner you get buy-in and you get support from your family, the better your family life is going to be. Now, what's awesome is on the holidays, let's say you have to work Christmas Day or you work Thanksgiving, maybe Easter. Most departments allow the families to come in, and you have Christmas dinner at the fire station. You have Thanksgiving dinner at the fire station. We had 175 folks at our fire station on Thanksgiving this year, and it was amazing. All the families came in. So that's kind of a benefit to having to sacrifice your Thanksgiving by not being at home, or sacrificing your Christmas, or maybe even Easter. So again, I hope that served you, and I hope that gives you a little better understanding of the sacrifices that we make as firefighters and what we need to do to have that conversation with our family to gain that support as we go through our career. I'm on my 29th year now, and it's a sacrifice for your family, but I've done it, and my family supports me wholeheartedly, and it's great. And I love my career, and my family loves my career. And you're going to love it too. So again, I hope this has served you. And if you're watching this anywhere besides tomorrowsfirefighter.com, go on over there, sign up with your email address, and you're going to get 2 hours of free training on how to prepare for your firefighter oral interview for free. And if you're watching this on YouTube, give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, or leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and leave a question. I read all the comments and I answer all your questions. So again, I hope this has served you, and we'll see you in the next video, and we'll see you next week.